It was late in the afternoon by the time I woke up. The sunlight squeezed through the window blinds like a fat lady on a nightclub dance floor, swaying and happy, oblivious to the discomfort she causes everyone who's watching. I lit a cigarette to stifle the cheap gin that spent the night on my tongue, like a lazy, unemployed, shiftless brother-in-law who dropped in for a long, hot summer one weekend. I got to my feet just before the throbbing in my head began. It had been a rough night, but then again, they're all rough nights. I'm Richard. I'm a private dick.
Veidt Radio Theater presents Richard the Dick. Tonight's episode is brought to you by the makers of Hendrick's Gin. Hendrick's, when you just can't get juniper berries.
I was trying to decide if I should stop for breakfast on the way to the tavern, but the knock at the door broke my train of thought. I answered it the only way I knew how. Yeah. He was thin, pale, and waxy. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear that I was aiming at a candle in a tweed suit.
Are you a dick?
That's Richard. Now start talking and make it fast. Who sent you?
Send me? Nobody sent me. That is, I mean my wife, while she...
What do you want?
I think something funny is going on. I guess I should start at the beginning. My mother was the Duchess Reach. My family was royalty from the old country, but since I was born here, while they were visiting America, I've been passed over by the hierarchy. No family, no position, not even the title. I'm just plain Otto Reach.
This kid was breaking my heart. But there was money in there somewhere, and I was just sober enough to play along. Too bad, too. Because inside my skull there was a 21-gun salute being played for the lime rickies that had passed before me the previous evening. And I didn't even send flowers.
Recently, Maya, that's my wife, well, she began acting strangely.
Strangely?
Coming and going without a word, secretive phone calls, and then there was the package.
What package?
I got a message that there was a case at the station, and when I got there, the man told me it had been picked up by a woman, and he remembered her because he helped her load it into the car.
I'm guessing you haven't said anything to her about all of this.
I couldn't just come out and ask, but still, it struck me very strange.
Strange, but I'd like to strike him too. But the odds of a client paying you after you assault them are pretty slim. Frankly, I'd rather assault the rim of a margarita glass. Anyway, I figured I'd take the case, if for no other reason than to get him out of my office. He was starting to stink up the joint. Now let me get this straight. You want me to follow your wife, find out what she's up to,
Yes.
locate this case and get it back, legally if possible.
Well, of course, if it's not too much trouble.
The vodka and tonic from last night was leaching out of my forehead in 90 proof beads of sweat. I wasn't sure if I should grab my hat or a lemon wedge. I hailed a cab and started for the station by way of Jack's place. Hiya, Jack. Hera the dog. You better make that a rye.
Yeah, whatever. Here you go, dick.
Richard? Why doesn't anybody call me Richard? Before my gullet could remember the words to Coming Through the Rye, somebody started playing the Anvil chorus on the back of my head with a beer bottle. When I woke, I had the impression I wasn't welcome on this case, and the impression of a sewer grate on my left cheek. Since I always believed an ounce of prevention should have a water back, I checked in with a bartender near the hospital before heading to the train station.
I'm sorry, sir. This script ain't here.
Well, I knew that. I'm more interested in finding out who picked it up.
Oh, I see. Well, let's have a look here in the book.
The old man was slower than a tired tortoise trying to trudge towards the top of a tall tower. He was beginning to try my patience like that crying kid at the movies just before I heave him over the balcony. They always seem to quiet down after that.
Let's see. Satchel, duffel. Yep, there she is. One wooden case. The register was signed by...
Yeah?
Will you excuse me for just a moment?
Come on.
Hello? Baggage claim. May I... What's that? I didn't quite... Oh, yes, I see. Yes. Hold on, please. Are you a dick?
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
There's a call for you.
Give me that. Hello? It was just out of reach. He even sounded pale and waxy on the phone. He was wound up tight like one of those cheap tin watches you buy for $1 from that shady guy in the dark alley. He asked me to meet him at his house right away. Don't know how long it took to get across town. I bought my watch for $1 from a shady guy in the dark alley. It ran about as good as a pair of 2-bit nylons. As the cab navigated the tree-lined estates with their well-manicured lawns and air that was thick with the smell of honeysuckle and old money, a myriad of thoughts kept popping into that thick melon that kept my hat off my shoulders. First, if Ottomeyer Reach were really cut off from his family, how did they manage a 12-room bungalow next door to all of these well-sold heels? Second, if all the money was within my reach, Then what could possibly be in that case that she didn't want Otto to know about? But most importantly, why did I only pack one flask of creme de menthe for a 20-minute cab ride?
Well, you must be a dick.
So this was Maya Reach. She was different than I imagined. Much different.
Won't you please come in and make yourself comfortable? I was just going to make a drink. Can I offer you a...
Gin and anything. She looked like she had 10 years on us, and she'd put them to good use. Oh, she was built like a lot of the women I knew, but with better quality materials. Her dress left little to the imagination, but then I don't imagine I have much of an imagination. Leave it to Otto to find a girl like this with a candle fetish.
Seems I owe you an apology.
That's funny. I don't remember loaning you an apology.
You see, I'm afraid my husband sent you on a bit of a wild goose chase.
Wild goose, wild turkey. What's the difference? Anyway, where is your husband? He sounded very anxious on the phone. In fact, he said that he couldn't wait for me to meet him here.
Oh, yes, that. Well, I'm afraid that after speaking with you, he became a bit embarrassed and decided he couldn't face you. Here, let me freshen that drink for you.
I wasn't buying that story. But then I also wasn't buying the drinks either. I decided to listen for at least half a bottle longer.
I don't know what he's told you about his past, but I'm afraid that the treatment from his family has made him into a very insecure and gullible individual. This isn't the first time he's been misled.
Wait a minute. What do you mean misled?
Listen, you dick. You come in here shoving one fact up against another until it comes out a profit for you. Well, all right then. But just remember the one fact that you're overlooking. I love him. And that fact will remain long after you're gone.
Thanks for the drink, doll.
Hey, Dick. You can still do the right thing.
Right for who, baby? Right for who? I took a long walk home. I needed to get my head straight and figure this out. Was that all-night liquor store on 37th or 47th? It really didn't matter since I was downtown anyway. I grabbed a bite at one of those little carts they have in the square.
Stop that guy!
One day, I may pay for a whole sandwich. I decided to stop by the drugstore, give my old pal Blake a call at the Midville Police Precinct. Blake had just failed the sergeant's exam again. I knew he'd be open to helping out an old friend.
You're no friend of mine. Why, you had me up half the night staking out that tent
But Blake,
when I could have been studying for the exam.
listen.
Whoever heard of a tent burglar?
I thought it was another one of those criminal carnival cults that came in off the coast of Cape Cod. Anyway, I just need a little favor. I'm trying to find a couple out of my reach.
Oh, don't take it so hard. We can't catch 'em all, you know.
No, Blake, I'm looking for the files on a couple. You have any files that are out of my reach?
What are you talking about? The file cabinet is right here by me desk, and I can reach it just fine. You're not making any sense, Dick.
Never mind, Blake. I'll see you at the policeman's ball.
Hey, that's right. You still owe me for them tickets. You know the captain's gonna give me the dickens, Dick, if I come up short on cash again this year.
Maya might be a cool kitten, but dishonest is a little harder to prove. If only I could find the case. Or at least what was in it. I walked into my office looking for a little shut-eye, and a little more red-eye. What I found was a black eye. A real beaut. The kind that shiners were named for.
I'm terribly sorry, Dick.
Yeah, great.
You walked right into the door as I was coming out. You okay? We were just gonna leave you a note.
We'll have to hurry, Cupcake, if we're going to make the boat.
We're celebrating. My family has finally come around and accepted me. It seems that the last of the old dowagers has passed away, and the rest of the family thinks that I could help them manage their holdings here in the States. Maya here has been arranging for a grand surprise for me. We set sail for my homecoming tonight.
Ain't that just swell? I was actually talking about my eye, which was blowing up like one of those cheap balloons being filled by a kid at the carnival squirting water into a clown's mouth to win a lousy electric razor for his Uncle Veidt, who never comes around anymore. I fumbled for the bottle of bourbon-flavored painkiller in my desk drawer and settled back into my chair.
That's what was in the case she picked up from the station. My family.
Really?
They sent books and letters and pictures, everything I missed out on for the last 30 years. This is my royal decree. Look here, the Earl and Countess Reach. Can you believe it?
By the way, this envelope is for you. There's a little extra bonus for all your trouble. We really are sorry for everything we've put you through, and hope this makes up for the inconvenience.
I'm afraid it's my fault, really. You see, if I had only been able to trust the people who were closest to me, none of this would have happened. I never would have dragged you into this. I just didn't know what else to do.
Don't be sorry. Sometimes it's hard to know the right thing to do. It's not exactly your area of expertise. Why, you're out of my reach. Me? My name's Richard. I'm a private dick.
Tune in next week as Richard the Dick works on the bottle in front of me and ask, "Vodka you looking at?"